Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Samuel Trapp. This is International Flavor. You are listening to All Things Trap version coming out tonight, and it is live on StreamYard. It is live on my Facebook page, and it is also live on YouTube on the All Things Trap page. And today we're going to tell a few trap stories. And these are stories basically from my youth, from my father, God love him, who was a very good person, and from my mother as well. And she's also, wonderful. She is in her 80s right now. Don't want to rat her out too much, but I have a sister who had a birthday today. Happy birthday to my little sister, Susan, who is just wonderful. There are, or were at some point or another, 12 of us children. And currently, there are 10 of us remaining. And I would like to welcome any trap, anywhere, to join in tonight. And there is a way to do so if I invite you. Well, I don't even have to invite you. You just have to sign up to the uh, I'm putting it right now down below, and we're going to show it as a ticker. And oops, wrong one. There is the ticker. So if you enter in that ticker information, you will be able to join the All Things Trap stream live. And we can chat and discuss and talk about my sister if we feel like. And we can talk about my father, or we can talk about any stories um, that we would like to. And I invite any of you to do so, especially Matthew, uh, to um, check out the link works for when we do this later. Um, and if you click the link, you can join in and you can join in the stories. So I had reviewed quite a few stories that I wanted to tell, and I one of the ones I want to tell has to do with my uh, car accident that occurred on uh, let's see. Yes, that occurred on September 11 of 2006. And I am going to tell that story. I think it needs to be told. I think that people might enjoy what happened that day. I didn't, but it might give you a little bit of insight into the craziness of life, and um, it would be um, my honor to tell you. Sorry, I'm inviting people to tune into the video and see if I can get them to join us in, as they say. So right now, you're going to hear what the events occurred on uh, September 11, 2006. So, leading up to this, I had just completed in court a divorce settlement that was set for trial, and we began to have a hearing on it. And in fact, we had several hearings. They were pretty much in agreement with what they wanted to do with the children, but they weren't really with what they wanted to do with property. One of the items in that divorce that people were talking about in property, the husband, who I did not represent, had a Corvette, and it was titled in his name, but he had purchased it the day of his wife's birthday. And he had said that the item, when he purchased it, was a gift for her birthday, but he titled it in his own name. And so she didn't care. She didn't really want the car. She just didn't want to. Uh, oh, who do we have here? Who is this?
Nobody.
Oh, a big light right behind your head is going to interfere a little bit with the video, but I see you back there. So if you could either turn off the light behind your head or something of that
There's no
nature.
light. It's a window.
Ah, so you can't close the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay. Well, I was just getting ready to tell a story, and oh, nice shirt you got there. That's pretty cool. Looks like something I might wear.
Yeah. I got it from the princess.
I see. Well, it's very pretty, and should tell her not to buy you attractive clothes like that. All the women are gonna chase you around. You know,
Yeah.
she wouldn't
I
want
like
any of
it
that.
when women chase me, and that way when my mother asks if I'm good, I can say yes, I've been chased.
Oh, oh boy. Oh, listen, all humor will be on a need to divide, and I will approve. I will be the one providing humor around here. I'm not so sure where you think you get off putting humor on my show, but I'm
Well,
very
I'm not
glad
so
you're
sure
here.
that's I'm not so sure that's humor.
It's probably so you're very chaste.
Yeah, chaste, benevolent, virtuous.
Oh yeah, and of good report. Yep, you're very
Yeah.
much of good report. I, on the other hand, am not, and maybe I prefer it that way. I don't know, but either way, I appreciate you being here. I wanted to show tonight because I thought it would be somewhat funny to add from my own personal Google channel on YouTube my videos that are very, very. I want to get to some of the oldest videos I have ever put out. And
Mm.
I was going to share this because this truly is humorous. But I have to go back very, very far in order to find them. And so I wonder if. Oh, I have a video of Mother. We should watch that one. You want to hear Mom's story?
How do you get this stuff?
The story of Mother?
No, the videos.
Oh, I can add it on here. I'm going to add on this video of Mother. Oh, now what have I done? Darn it. Let's see.
Where do you get the videos?
Well, I have a channel, and my channel has got tons of videos.
Mm.
And I got to find the title to this video in my own videos is the problem. And I don't, I have to go back pretty damn far in order to get there and see my own videos. And I wonder how far back I can go. Hopefully pretty far. These are so old. Have you ever seen the video of me doing my what do you call it video? The I made a video of like a music video. Have you ever seen it?
The leisure suit lawyer.
Yeah.
I remember that from a long time ago, but uh, no, I don't remember seeing the video. I remember you did one.
Oh, it's horrible. That's all there is to it. But just so you can see it, I shall play it. And it's truly horrifying that that here's me, and I need to get ready for it. Here we go, and we shall put it on the full screen. We'll add it to the stage, and can you see it as well?
Oh golly. Oh my.
Can you see it?
Well, yeah. Oh
Isn't that
my.
horrible? Okay, here comes the sound. Ready? And this was I don't know when this was, but it was a long. It was I want to say 2008, 2009.
It was before Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I don't know what it was before, but there you go.
Oh my. What is this?
Three strippers I hired. I hired three strippers to come with me
Oh good
So I
Lord.
sing you
from
to
the local
sleep
strip club. I brought them along.
after the loving with a song I
Oh
just wrote
my gosh. Oh.
yesterday.
Ah.
You know why I did
And
this,
I
Clay?
hope you can hear
Total
what the
idiot.
words and the music.
So I had that boat for a while, and I bought those lime green seats, and they were
It's
brand
so
new.
hard
I had
to
just bought the
explain
lime green seat,
the
and a
things
friend of mine
that I'm
installed them,
feeling
and
face
it
to
was just
face.
an
I just
idiotic
hate
boat,
to
an
go
idiotic
down,
day, and
but I love you so much
had these
that the
women on the boat,
sound of your
the strip
voice
club.
can get me
Hey, your
high.
picture on your video just went sideways. Wonder why that happened. You see yourself on the video?
Thanks for taking me
Oh man.
on a one-way trip to the sun.
No, the redhead girl was the British girl.
And
And
thanks for
she's
turning me
all three of these girls worked at the local club
into
that my buddy owned,
someone.
and I paid them
So I
$75 a piece
see
to
you
come on and
asleep
spend the afternoon on my boat.
after the
When they got there,
loving.
they were all
I
going,
brush back that
um,
hair from your
is there anything
eyes
else expected? And I was
and the
like,
love
no,
on your face.
it's
It's
gonna,
so
I just needed
real
to get
that
on
it
the
makes
boat
me
and
wanna
pretend like they
cry.
liked me for an hour or so. And they did. It was pretty
And
funny.
I know that my
So,
song isn't saying anything
and the
new,
guy who took the video with me was a really nice guy. It was funny. He was on the local radio
but
station.
after the love, I'm still in love with you. So I sing you to sleep
You like that leisure
after
suit? Want to take those
the
pants off,
loving.
Mike?
I brush back the hair from your
Oh
eyes
my gosh.
and the love on your face is so real that it makes me wanna cry. And I know that my song isn't saying anything new. Oh, but after the love, I'm still in love with you. Yes, after the loving, I'm still in love with you. After the love, I'm still in love with you.
Isn't that terrible?
Man, oh man.
And the evidence still
Sam,
exists, doesn't it?
yeah. I think old Engelbert Humperdinck would be rolling in his grave.
Probably so. You're twisted for some reason. Do you see yourself on the screen?
How
You're
did that happen?
sideways.
You're sideways.
There
Yeah,
you
I'm
are.
always
Now you're
sideways.
correct.
There you.
Hmm.
If I were you, I would burn that.
I it was a time that was entertaining in life. And do you know why I did it in relation to the All Things Trap? Do you know why? So I was always a karaoke fan, and I have been doing karaoke for a pretty long time. And I always threatened my kids. I was like, so before I die, I'm going to do an album and I'm going to present it to you upon my death and require y'all to play it at my funeral. And I'm going to make a music video and I'm going to make sure that you are completely embarrassed with what your father finds entertaining. And when dad passed away, he had a book that he was going to write and he never did.
Yeah,
He got halfway
yeah.
done and I was like, I keep saying I'm going to do this and my kids think, "Oh, you're not going to do it," and blah blah. So I went out and I rented a studio and I did, I don't remember, 10, 12 songs to turn into an album. The album Leisure Suit Lovin' is out there and you can find it. Um, and it's I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. There we go. And you can go out and find that. And my kids were like, but when Dad passed away, I figured I had to do it. And do you remember biking up the mountain?
Lookout
Y-
Mountain.
You and I got going up North Tabletop, South Tabletop, one of them.
No, it was Lookout Mountain.
Was it? Well, either way, I thought you were a nut, and I could beat you on the way up, but I could not. I mean, you'd finish like an hour ahead of me coming down because you were a madman, and you would go cruising down that mountain like nobody's business, and lean this way, lean in that way, and I'm sitting there squeezing my brakes, and good, not wanting to die, and you're I don't know what you were doing, but you'd finish and go, "Come on, Sam, come on," and you'd be down there on the bottom, and I'm sitting there crying on the way down the mountain, wasn't crying, but it was, it was.
Mm.
I preferred the uphills, not the downhills. There was,
Yeah, me too. I love the uphills, but downhills are fun too. Um, uh, when was the last time I did Lookout Mountain? It's been a couple years. Yeah, it's been probably, actually it was before I moved to Reno, so it would have been like 2018 or 19 somewhere because we were living in the farmhouse.
hmm,
Excuse me. Yeah, and I brought my bike, one of my bikes out here to Tahoe with me. It's in my office currently, and I'm gonna ride around the lake. It should take me, I have no idea, but they have what's called the Tahoe Rim Trail, and that's a big deal. There are people. I picked up a kid from Nebraska last year, 18-year-old hitchhiking kid, and he was hiking the trail, and I gave him a ride into Tahoe from. He was on Mount Rose, and he said, "I graduated from high school, and I took a plane or a train or a bus or whatever." He said, "I came out here, I'm going to hike this before I go to college." And I said, "Wow." I said, "You're adventurous all by yourself?" He said, "Yeah, there's other people on the trail though." And there are lots of people that hike the trail, but they do it in segments. There's clubs up on Tahoe where my office is, and they hike like 20 miles here, 15 miles there, and they hike the whole all the way around, but they do it in segments. But he did it all at one time. But I'm assuming I'll just take a Saturday and go around the lake on my bike.
wow. I
But
have been. Go ahead.
I've been telling Jenny for years that Dave and me and she and you, whoever else, I want to do the loneliest highway in America, which starts at Tahoe and goes east up into Utah. It's Highway 50, and it goes through all the old Nevada mining towns. It goes through Ely, Eureka. It's just a cool. And I was thinking I could get the princess to be a sag wagon. She'd go 20, 30, 40 miles ahead or whatever, make sure the hotel's ready, and she'd be available also in case somebody breaks down, and it could turn into something like a ragbri.
Hmm.
You've done ragbri, haven't you?
No, but I'd be up for it. I've usually done, but when I lived in Missouri and I was getting rid of the Antichrist in my life that uh, ended up marrying me for some reason. I don't know how you marry the Antichrist, but I did, and I don't know how that worked out. But somehow it happened. And when I finally found Jesus or whatever happened to get rid of her, I moved into an apartment right on the it's called the Katy Trail. And so the Katy Trail now has a loop in Missouri that goes almost 400 miles that you have old
Is that now?
railroads.
Didn't Ginny? Yeah, Ginny did
Ginny's
that,
been
didn't
on it a
she?
bunch of times too. But I used to every morning get on that thing and bike uh 8 miles out and 8 miles back. So the goal was 15 miles every morning. And then every
Yeah,
Saturday or Sunday, I would go out 25 miles out and 25 miles back. And man, I
yeah,
was in some of the best shape ever. And I was 50, 52, 53. And the last time I did it, um, I got David into it. He moved into that apartment with me for a little while, and he got into biking right there. And so I
yeah,
mean, I know he had biked before, but I mean, got serious about it. And he was, he's still doing it here. Only here in Florida, it's a death wish. You get on a road here, you're dead meat. There's nowhere to
yeah. I
bicycle
wouldn't trust it.
here, and
Heck, I don't even trust it. Now in Colorado, I trust it because they make room, you know. But in northern Nevada, you're taking your life in your hands because not a lot of people. I mean, there are bike clubs here, and it's becoming a little bit better, but they don't like bikes on the road.
Florida, they'll just run you over and then keep going. They don't even stop. And David's been hit 3 times here, and
Yeah,
only
well,
one time did
part of the
somebody stop.
problem, part of the problem is, sorry, Sam, I keep interrupting you, it sounds like,
No,
but
you go ahead.
part of the problem is a lot of these bicyclists are just arrogant little, you know what? I mean, they're just all over themselves in terms of how important they are and, you know, sticking their butt up in your face.
Well, it's I don't know. People, I would prefer some place where it was a little more remote and uh I don't know what. Somehow safe or somehow it was a big ride that everybody knew it was coming. There's one that goes across Iowa, isn't there? And I almost did the Iowa
That's
one
the
one year. And
that's the ragbri. The
that's
ragbri
the
is the
one
one
then.
I was mentioning. That's the
Yeah.
Reporter's annual Great Bicycle Race across Iowa,
Well,
and it's got its own economy. I mean, uh, people they stop in these small towns, and these small towns are vying for, one of the stops every year. And the first time I read about Ragbri, I was in the army. And it would have been like 1982 or 83, somewhere around there. And I remember reading about it in Reader's Digest. And I said to my commanding officer, we were sitting in the back of a deuce and a half, and I said, I am going to do this. He said, Trap, I believe you. If anybody would do it, you would. And, that was 1982, 43 years ago.
Still haven't done it.
But there's also another one, Sam, that goes somewhere up in Idaho and it ends in Logan, Utah. So that's another good one. I'll have to. There's a guy here in Reno that I go to church with. He's from Southeast Idaho, and he just went and did it last year. But he's done it before. I mean, he grew up there, so he knew all about it. I'll have to ask him what that's called. But it ends in Logan, Utah, and I loved Logan. When I was in graduate school there, I used to go up Logan Canyon on my bike. You know, I had one car that the princess was driving, and then I rode my bikes everywhere.
Mhm. I
So
want to go ahead.
I was going to mention the first bike ride, epic bike ride that I ever went on. Dave and me and Eric Tholen and Stuart Tholen and Blaine Bradford and Pete Cash and Todd Henneman and Kent Forbush. Um, we rode our bikes from Midvale, Utah. We took a day off of school and we rode down into Orem, up Provo Canyon, up into Heber City and the little town of Midway. Um, that's where our ward in Midvale had access to a little church camp.
Your voice went out. Are you there? Clay, I can't hear you. Clayton, I got nothing. Your sound is out. I can't hear you, Clay. Hold on. You have to call back in or something. I got nothing. Let's see here. Say something again. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you at all. I got nothing. Log out, log back in. Do that. Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for him to come back and or see if his sound fixes somehow. I hope you can hear my sound. I think that maybe that would be all there. Is your sound back, Clayton? Can you hear me? I can't hear anything from you. Nothing. I hear nothing from you. Oh, yeah, he left us, and he will hopefully join us back in with his sound, and hopefully that will come out in a much better fashion. I'm going to go look at my tabs again and see if I can't find.
Yeah, I can hear you
There
now.
you are. I can hear you now. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there, but you
Well, I think
disappeared.
I got a phone call, and that's when it all started going goofy. I shunted that off to the voicemail department,
Ah,
and then I couldn't hear after that.
well,
No, but
that's what
that
happens.
was 1974, and uh, Stuart Tholen, we got to the south end of the big lake that's up there, and Stuart said, "Hey, I've got an idea. We'll take the railroad tracks over here on the west side of the lake, and we'll beat them there." Well, we got in about 2 hours after they arrived because the railroad tracks were the slow way to go.
Well,
And I
of
don't know why I
course.
listened to Stuart. Stuart's funny because he's a big beefy guy, but he didn't like uh necessarily doing athletic stuff. I mean, he was a decent athlete, but he'd much rather not. And I, of course, loved everything athletic and physical stuff. And I ended up listening to him. I mean, he's a pretty persuasive guy. He's, "Oh, yeah, we'll beat him there." And I kept going, "Stuart, is this thing around the next bend?" "Yeah, it's around the next bend." It's like, we'll never get there. So whatever.
And you never did.
No, we're still
Well,
there. Yeah.
not till 2 hours after everybody else. But
Yeah.
you
And I can
made
remember
it.
I got pretty sunburnt, and Dave, of course, being Dave, hey, old Clay baby, what took you so long? And he
Yeah.
slaps me on the back, and I already had a red back from being sunburnt, and I was like, yeah. Dave was funny back then. Of course, I've always literally been bigger than Dave. I mean, since the day I was born. But
Yeah, I know.
Dave was he was something. He was quite the go-getter back in the day, and I guess he still is.
He's still extremely competitive, and he doesn't want to.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he can't.
he and
Well,
I,
we
he
gotta.
and I.
Somebody has to win. It's like no, nobody has to win. We're just gonna do it. But oh no, people got to win. Somebody has to win, and
Yeah.
it,
So
and
he and
it
I
better be
did
him. Is all I
what
can tell you.
when we before Sherry died. Dave and Sherry had moved back to Utah, and they lived, about 2 miles north of us. We lived in Draper there, and Draper had a fun run for Draper Founders Day or whatever they call it, and it was like a 5 mile race. And so Dave and I, okay, Clay, you better get used to losing. so so um, he shoots off like a rabbit, and I said, okay, whatever, I'll just be the hare. I said, I'll catch you at the end. And so we're coming to the end. We're about a half mile out, and I just pass him. I say, hey, what happened? And he had this look on his face of like, well, you dirty dog. Oh, he's funny. He's just funny.
Well, he always. I mean, it's everything's got to be a race. Everything's got to be a competition.
Yeah,
Everything. It doesn't matter what it is.
yeah,
It has to be a competition. And uh,
yeah,
but he. I mean, he's just funny. I just told Matthew that I'm in the
yeah.
video platform with you. Here, I'm going to show you another horrific display from Samuel.
Oh God.
This one, this one was a
Sam.
charity event that I did, dressed as a transvestite. You ready?
Oh
Here,
no, no,
here's
no, no.
Sam,
Oi.
and it's called Sam Trapp Vestite, is what it's called. Isn't that terrible? But oh no, it
Oh.
was there.
Gorgeous is Mr. Sam Trapp, the Trapp law firm, also known as Cinnamon. Cinnamon
Cinnamon.
spice and everything oh so nice. Guys, have you ever wanted to put a little cinnamon on your banana? Well, now's your chance. Coming to the stage and ready to leave a sweet taste in your mouth, it's Cinnamon. Careful with this one, boys. She's well educated and able to debrief you in minutes. Get your dollar bills out for this slippery little minx of the courtroom and show her some love, or you just might leave in handcuffs. Give it up for Cinnamon! Ladies! This is another featuring Nico and Just Smokers. Report to the dance floor.
I was definitely one of the ugliest there.
Oh my goodness.
I can't remember how well I did, but I brought in about $1,200 all by myself. 1,500 people giving me money.
For what purpose?
Women's health of some sort. I forget what. But I was trying to be a good citizen at the time. Oh, there's the Antichrist right there. The Antichrist and her friends, those two. Terrible,
Oh
terrible.
my gosh.
I went up to one of my buddies and made him give me $100. Isn't that terrible?
Okay, I'm done.
That's enough. No
That's
transvestites for
horrible.
you, huh?
I
That's
would
right.
never, ever in a million years do that. So, hey, speaking of her, what is she doing now? Is she still around Columbia, or what's she doing?
I don't know. I had to. So it's it was a horror story. So she
Mm,
departed when I was no longer a lawyer. She needs somebody far more important than me. It's
yeah.
and I don't know. I truly once I discovered that though that was the reality, I I haven't looked, I haven't asked, I have zero interest, and it just one of those things, mistake you make, and I made the mistake of thinking that I actually meant something, and not remotely. My wallet meant something, but not me. And so I needed, I suppose I needed a lesson like that in life. And she gave it to me, no doubt there. And I don't know, I haven't checked, haven't looked, rarely mention anything having to do with her. And the other day, I found a box of photos that were, and I don't know what to do with them. It's kind of, I don't want to throw them away, but they were her photos, and from when her kids were really small and whatnot, and somehow they were in a
Oh,
box of stuff of mine, and so I hate to throw them away. I don't want
yeah,
to, and but I don't want anything to do with it, and so
yeah.
she hasn't missed them, so there you go. It
Maybe
I
you
suppose
could.
I could get
Maybe you
one of
could.
the two girls that I basically raised from age 8 to age 18, that they're,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
always got along pretty well. Maybe I could, I don't hear from them much at all, but at least we still can communicate, you know what I mean? And so I don't
yep.
have any trouble with that, but I um I was trying to get some other family, see if I could convince anybody to come on the old shoe, and so far nobody
A
has
really,
taken me
a really
up
big
on
shoe.
it. That's how JR starts his program every day, with the really, really, really
Who's
big
Jr.?
shoe. Yep. He plays that song.
Who's
And
Jr.?
JR owns Damn Radio, and so when you listen to me live at night, it's on damradio.com/live. And tonight I'll be on there at 9 o'clock. Well, Damn Radio is his radio platform, and he has a show called The Really, Really Big Shoe, and it starts Monday through Friday, Central Time, uh, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And I used to go right after him, 4 p.m. to 5:30. And now it's better for me. It's more comfortable for me to do in the evening, and so I go 9 to 10:30 at night. And so
Mm,
if you want to listen live, it's always on the radio program, 9 to 10:30. And tonight I'm
mm,
storytelling and on the radio, and Matt was on with me on Thursday on the program, and Matt and I talk about conspiracy theory, government connections, and he's been on 3 4 times. Excuse me, he's been on 3 4 times, and he's going to be on again this Thursday, and we're going to be talking about
mm,
the 9/11. And usually people listen pretty well. Well, one of the best shows as far as people listening for me was this past week, and people downloading it on International Flavor, was me telling my stories about being a young kid in Nauvoo, Illinois, and I told a dad newspaper story where me and Russ the idiots were running the. We weren't running it, but Dad kept going. Come on, guys! You need to go out and sell some advertising. And he'd say things to me like, "Come on, Sam." He go get in the go. Why don't you take my car, drive down to Hamilton, and go see old Joe at the feed store. And you just tell Joe you're there to pick up his ad copy. And I'd go, Dad, does he have any ad copy? He goes, well, I don't know. So you're just sending me to collect ad copy that may not exist. He goes, Sam, you're supposed to go be a salesman. You go down and sell it. You can talk to people. People like to talk to you. Go on and just go down there. I said, so basically, this old Joe has no idea I'm coming. Old Joe may or may not have advertised with this paper 5 years ago, but if I go up and say, Joe, I need your ad copy, he just going to hand it over? Yeah, you're supposed to be selling. And me and Russ we'd always go, no, 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 we're the writers. We would write those high school basketball stories, Joe won the basketball game with his final shot against whoever, and we were less than compliant with the things that Dad wanted us to do. That's for sure. And
Yeah. Well,
probably a big reason for the
that's
failure of the newspaper was us. you know, it's
so you were too young to remember, or maybe you did remember over there on State Street in Midvale, Dad and Mom had that hobnob store, a
I
bunch of
remember the hobnob, sure do.
secondhand. Well, I can remember sometimes I'd get left in charge of something, and it was like, "What are you kidding me?" I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but Dad was usually there on a Saturday, right? I can
Mhm.
remember when we first moved to Utah. Dad, of course, became a tour guide on Temple Square, and I would go with him on a lot of
I
Saturdays,
did
and
too.
I
I
have to
went
tell
on
you.
a bunch of times.
Well, I have to tell you, Sam, that is where I gained a testimony of the gospel is on Temple Square. And I hadn't read the Book of Mormon all the way through. I didn't read the Book of Mormon all the way through until um, oh gosh, until after I was married, honestly. I'd read a bunch of it, but I hadn't read it all the way through until I was like 20 years old. And I finally just said, I either I think I believe this 100%, but I don't know because I haven't read it 100%. So, uh, but my testimony was gained right there on Temple Square listening to Dad. He just loved that. But that
Well,
little
he loved
store
it and
was
he knew
just
everything.
I could
And people would eat that stuff up. And he just
yeah,
knew all. Somebody asked a question. Well, here's the funny thing. We could do blah blah blah. And he'd talk of this total side tangent that something about history. There was a man named so and he was married to
yeah,
and they had kids, and one of those kids did blah blah blah. And here's and the history was amazing, the things that he knew.
yeah.
And I thought about,
Yeah.
because I thought about playing one of his, because I have all of his in my iTunes. I have all of his
Oh, and
uh,
yeah,
episodes of him giving history tours, and
yeah.
I've got them all.
Me
And
too. Me
and
too.
I could play them if I went to music. I think because
Those
I
are
also have.
those
Go ahead.
those have become not sacred to me, but they've become a precious sound like the Hobbit. No, they've become a precious commodity. Just hearing Dad's voice is there's there's something about that. And luckily enough, before my father-in-law died, I recorded him. I'd go to his nursing home every Thursday, or as often as I could, and I'd record bits of his history. George, tell me about growing up in the Depression, and he's, well, I remember my Uncle John and my uncle, this, that, and we'd be out on Gun Club Road in Denver, and you know, uh, we'd go riding down there, and middle of the night, and we'd have our 22s with us, and that's how we'd make rabbit stew. The bunnies would kind of like freeze in the headlight. They'd give you a chance to shoot them, and I had my little 22 that I got from Montgomery Ward for my 8th birthday, and we'd go out there and shoot them, and it was my job to go collect them.
Hmm.
And
Well,
just hearing their voices is great. Um, it's great theater, I guess, for me. But
I've been trying to get mom to come on the program and tell some stories, even about us. Personally, I wasn't an easy child to deal with. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's
yeah, well,
interesting struggle stories that would be fun to hear from her point of view. And
oh yeah, she could tell you horrible stories about me, just and actually some funny ones too. But I was the original horrible child in our family. You know,
until I
I
came
even got
along,
kicked out of.
it
I got kicked. I got
was
kicked
all
out of
you
Grandma
till me.
Lineberger's house. Grandma
Yeah.
Lineberger kicked me out of her house
Well,
as a 3 or 4 year old. She made me sit outside on the porch with my suitcase until mom and dad arrived. It's like we don't even want this kid in our house. Here, he's out here on the porch.
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
can't find any of Dad's
I
recordings, and I know I have them,
I
but
think I put him on my Spotify channel. Although, I is it Spotify or is it one of those other ones?
I
I
don't know. But I have my entire iTunes library, and I'm gonna look it up real quick because I
Yeah,
know I
you
have
should.
them because I copied them from his. Uh, Here it is. I also have his, the funeral thing we did. I
Oh
have that,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
have all of his music. Here they are. Joseph and Hiram, their final days. Nauvoo Temple, the
Yep.
stories, people, that kind of thing. And none of them are all that long. If
And
you
Thomas Sharp and well, who was the guy who had a green hat and somebody hung him and uh, you know he was accused. Somebody said something did somebody bad, something wrong, and that guy had a green hat. And so they go into town, they find this Mormon with a green hat, and they take him out and they hang him.
well, sometimes you just have to do that, Clayton. That's the right way to do it.
it's
Is find somebody who fits the bill and just hang them.
it's like Steve Martin in The Jerk, where they're shooting at him and they hit the oil cans. They're mad at the oil
They're mad
cans. It's the
oil
oil
cans.
cans.
I always love that show. He's like, I'm somebody now.
I'm in the phone
Nathan,
book.
Nathan Johnson, Nathan Johnson. I'm in the phone book. And the guy comes to kill Nathan R. Johnson. They're gonna kill him. And yep.
I,
And
I was born a poor
a
sharecropper's
black
son.
child. I was born a poor black child. And he would I what was he? I don't need you. I don't need anything. I need this remote
This
control. And
chair,
that's all I need.
this
I need the
chair,
remote
a
control,
chair,
this
this
chair, this
thermos.
ashtray, but I don't need anything else. I need this, the magazine, the remote control.
a thermos and this chair.
I'm picking out a thermos for you, not an ordinary thermos for you. Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. I always like Steve Martin in those sort of shows. I think he got a little bit flaky later on, and he wasn't as funny. And he thought he was funny, but he wasn't. And like, what was the one with the parents and Rick Moranis was in it? You know, Rick Moranis is
Yeah,
pretty
that
funny. Parenthood, that was it.
Parenthood.
Yeah, Rick Moranis was
Yeah.
always hilarious, though. You know, he was one of my favorite movies. Watching with him is that the one where the plant is going to eat everything. Do you remember? It
Oh
was a
yeah,
musical.
yeah. The yeah, it's the biggest
It
little
was a
shop of
musical.
horrors or something there.
Little
The
Shop of
little
Horrors.
shop
That's
of
right.
horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Moranis. That's it. Rick Moranis. Little Shop of Horrors. And he sang the song in there. And I always liked that blonde chick that was his girlfriend in there. The one that was, I always thought she was hot, and but she wasn't supposed to be. She was supposed to be, I don't know what, a little geek or something. But oh no, she was quite attractive. And at any rate, we have in the
Uh, uh,
show. Go ahead. Oh, Matthew
you
said he
mean
would join us. If he wasn't in his car, he would join, but he's in his car.
Steve Martin's girlfriend? What was is that who you're talking about, or Rick
No,
Moranis's
no, no, no.
girlfriend?
In Little
And
Shop of Horrors, the blonde girl that was the shop, she worked in the shop. But Steve Martin's girlfriend in The Jerk was Bernadette Peters, and she was always a smoking hottie. You know, she hasn't written me once. Do you remember that, Steve Martin?
no,
That Farrah Fawcett
no.
Majors is such a bitch. She hasn't written me once. Yeah, that was entertaining. Little Shop of Horrors. Suddenly see more. So you can always go find some pretty cool video if you look on YouTube. And so if you go back to, I'm gonna find one for you. And here's a so this person died not too long ago, and that is unfortunate. And so where are we here? Hang on, we're gonna get there.
Hey, speaking of people passing away, you know Dick Heath passed away a week ago.
Oh no! Well, that's terrible. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I had no clue. Well, that's unfortunate. Um,
Yeah, they've been living down in Mississippi, and it's interesting. I remember Pam and I went to their house for dinner one night, and Liz Heath and I think Sister Baker and maybe Sister Hill. They were all part of a bowling league, and they invited Pam, and they befriended Pam, and that was awesome. But I remember going over there to the Heath's house, and on more than one occasion, obviously. But they had some flags in their backyard, and one was his home state and her home state of Mississippi, and I remember that. And that's where they retired to in Mississippi. So,
they retired to
um,
Mississippi, huh?
yeah,
Well, good
and
for
that's
them.
where Dick passed away. He was in the hospital for a couple weeks on with something pneumonia or whatever, and then he passed away. Yeah,
Okay, here's the important stuff. Ready?
is that Michael Bien?
Longer? Let's do it.
So Val Kilmer was always one of my favorite actors. And in Tombstone, he's
Yeah,
awesome. And he
yeah,
died about a month ago, maybe a little more.
yeah. I remember, and that's Michael Bien with him, right?
I don't know who that is. I forget his name.
Yeah, it's Michael Biehn.
One of my
He
favorite
was
lines
in
right here.
like
Say when.
Say when. That's what people say. Hey, Sam, let's get together and go to the bar tonight. And I send them this video. Say when. Then we go to the bar. Say when. Yeah, there's plenty. You can always find some good stuff in there. I like listening to some Russian. I watch Russian movies and Russian really good movies, and I like putting them out there as well. Well, Clayton, we only have about 3 minutes left. Why don't you tell me
oh wow.
all of your greatest desires? Do you remember from what was the name of that show? Napoleon Dynamite. Vote for me, and all your wildest dreams will come true.
If you there's more where this came from if you go to prom with me.
That's right.
And
There's
he's got
plenty
that
more where this
picture
came from.
that picture that he drew of the girl and she's got like a lopsided face and
Yeah,
she
he
looks at
goes.
it like, ah,
That's
oh man, hilarious.
that's a sweet
Well, Sam,
bike.
so on
Do you do great jumps? Do you do
gosh,
some jumps? You really got some air that time.
gosh, sweet bike.
That's right. You gonna eat them tots?
Tina, come get your food, you fat lard.
Hmm. How about the
The-
Rico who's gonna be who if only 1980 back in 1984 if the coach had put me in, we'd have won. But coach put me in,
so
coach, and he has that cousin
yeah, my
Rico
my
or Uncle
my
Rico.
my Uncle Rico, my oldest son Brian lives in Preston, Idaho, where that was filmed.
Is that right? Yeah, Uncle
And that's the
Rico.
claim to fame for Preston.
eh,
Uncle
Yeah,
Rico, gosh,
I could throw that football over the
gosh.
mountains. I bet you. I bet you I could throw that football
I'll bet
right
I could.
over the
I bet I
mountain.
could. Bet I could throw this football over the mountains. Gosh,
Yeah.
I love how he just sits out there. He's throwing a football in different directions, filming himself. He just looks retarded.
How about when he threw the steak at Napoleon? He takes the brother's steak, and then the other brother has his black girlfriend or whatever. The black girlfriend shows up,
Kip,
and
yeah.
and
What's her
that
name?
was awesome.
Her name
And
is
he
like
starts dressing and wearing the chain and whatnot. It's just a classic show. Good stuff. And
Peace out, Napoleon.
yeah, peace
Oh,
out,
La
Napoleon.
Fonda. That's her name, La
La
Fonda.
Fonda with a W. La Fonda. And that was a fantastic movie, and
Up in the
everyone should
sky,
watch.
so high. Oh
I
man,
like his
what a
dance at the
goofball
end when he's
show
got
that
the
was.
the 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 girlfriend he wants to be with, and so there you
Yeah.
go. Well, tonight I'm live at 9 p.m. on damradio.com. I see we got some viewers. You viewers want to come in. The link is down below. All you got to do is click that link. I'll stay on longer if you click on the link and we get other people because it's I'm not doing much of anything else. I was uh, going to prepare for my show. And oh, we have a visitor, a friend of mine. We'll put Camden's words up there. Camden's going to be my huckleberry.
That's
I'm
from the
a
movie. That's
huckleberry.
perfect. I'll
That's
be
right.
your Huckleberry.
That's right. And so we I like watching Tombstone is not my favorite western. I'm more of a Clint Eastwood one, but I like that one. And the other one with Kurt Russell that came out several years ago. Uh, darn it, what is the next Kurt Russell one? And it came out like 4 or 5 years ago, and I can't remember the name of it, and I'll have to look it up. Um, Kurt Russell westerns. He had this Tombstone, and then he had Bone Tomahawk. But remember Bone Tomahawk? Did you see that?
Uh, that's exactly the one I was thinking of. I didn't know that you were going there. That was a strange movie. That one actually had what? That Arquette guy that was married to Courtney Cox was in the beginning. He was killed right away,
Yeah,
right?
it was a weird show. It was really weird, and so was he was also in The Hateful Eight. Do you remember The Hateful Eight? That was Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah,
And I
yeah.
liked
You
that
know,
one
I
too. It
hate.
was Quentin Tarantino is way too bloody for me, but I always try to watch him anyway, you know, because it's always something pretty damn interesting, or
I
strange.
hate to admit that I like a fair amount of Quentin Tarantino. I love Pulp Fiction, but I haven't watched it in forever because it's rated R. And I watched.
Kill Bill.
Um, nope, never saw that.
What?
I did
You have to
watch.
see Kill
I
Bill.
I did watch that. What was it? Hateful Eight with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kurt Russell and
I don't think
no.
Leonardo DiCaprio was in Hateful Eight, was he?
Oh, Django Unchained.
Oh,
That's what
Django
it
Unchained.
was.
I loved that show. And Django Unchained, I
And then
watched.
I love the Inglorious Bastards. I watched that with my father-in-law, even though it was rough in spots. It was good.
Yeah, that one was good. And then this wasn't Tarantino, I don't think, but Reservoir Dogs, those sort of movies that are just so different. I just I like them for how unique they are. And Tarantino,
Yeah,
you can say a lot about. Well, he's got a lot of guts and blood and swearing and all that, but it's generally a pretty solid show.
did you watch the last one? I liked it, but I don't think I'd watch it again. It was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood about the
I loved that show. I
hen-
loved it, and I can't bring myself to watch it again because I don't like how it goes, and I never did like that
yeah,
story. And I read that
yeah.
story in high school, and I didn't like it then. And it was
What,
just
Helter
because,
Helter Skelter?
yeah, things that really happened. So I can watch fiction nonsense all day long, but things that really happened, I have a little bit of trouble with, and
Yeah, yeah.
going, man, people are sick. People are just sick
They
to
are.
do some of the things that people do, and I didn't I just don't like it. I watched so I like watching Russian movies, and there's a Russian miniseries, and there's some really really good ones, and one of them is about it's called Volk, which means wolf, and Volk, the guy's name is his last name is Volk, but that's what he goes by. Like they'd call you Trap or me Trap, but he was Volk, and he was in prison custody, captured in some Afghanistani uh, war camp where he was taken, and they released him and let him go, but he'd been captured and been there, had been being held for a year secretly, and he comes back, and one of the generals who's about to pass away, his son got killed, and so he puts him on this on a path to investigate his son's death because he doesn't believe what the government has said about his death. And
Hmm,
basically, the son was investigating a death that occurred in World War II. And
hmm,
it's absolutely true. They based it on an absolutely true story that occurred during World War II times in 1940 to 1945, and
hmm,
of a boy and a girl, kind of a love story, very high elites. His father was the head of the aerospace division, creating airplanes and all that, and her father was the ambassador to the United States. And so she lived in New York, and then they came back, and she developed a boyfriend. And I lost your photo. I lost you. I don't know where you went, but you're suddenly
No,
black.
I'm here.
Oh, there you
I'm
are.
here.
And
No,
the story is
you
actually a
can't
true
say you
story.
can't. Yeah,
What?
you can't. I was gonna say you can't say. You said I suddenly went black. You can't say that. You have to say African American.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, apparently there's some pushes to get all that taken care of. That you know, um, there isn't going to be any more DEI in the U.S. government, is what they say now.
Well, I've got biracial grandchildren, and it's funny because you look at them and they're black. And we were sitting one day, and Rowan and Noah are sort of like Dave and I. Rowan is older, but Noah's been as big as Rowan since he was born. I mean, Noah's just a big kid. So anyway, they're they're sitting there one day, and Rowan is talking to his dad, who's black. Robert's a good guy. I like him. He's not a good husband, and that's why they're not together anymore. But um, so Rowan's talking to his dad, and he's saying, "Dad, I am not black. I'm white." and and
No, that's
and
funny.
they're si- they're sitting there talking to Robert, and Robert's going, "You are not white. You're black." And I said, "Well, honestly, you're half and half." But anyway, and Noah chimes in. He said, "Dad, look, it's okay. It's okay that Rowan and I are white. It's all right. It's okay." And you look at it, there's no way they're white. But it was just hilarious. It was just hilarious listening to him. A 7 and an 8-year-old. Come on, Dad. It's okay.
Terrible, terrible.
Anyway, I don't know how we got off on that, but anyway.
I don't know, but those though I tell you what, there's some good history tales out there, and I like those. What else is there? Django
Yeah,
Unchained, though. Something came up on my YouTube feed last night about Django Unchained. My favorite actor in that entire show is the dentist. Who remember he's got his little cart with the tooth up on top, and he's the one in the very first part of the movie. He comes up and he's so well spoken. It's the German guy. Well, he's also the bad guy in the one about it was that one in Glorious Bastards, the one where
yes.
Brad Pitt carved
Yes, he
swastikas in
was.
people's heads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was it. But the
Christoph.
guy who's the
His name
German,
is Christoph Waltz.
that's right. He is a freaking awesome actor, and he is so well spoken.
Yeah,
And him and Django Unchained is
yeah,
just classic. And I
yeah,
mean, both of those movies really are uh, extremely good examples of how intelligent Quentin Tarantino is, and that type of a humorous movie. I
yeah,
don't know that he wrote them, but he's a self-made movie guy. It's not like
yeah.
he didn't come up with these shows and these ideas. So there you go. Well, I
So
don't like to keep them too much longer after an hour. I want people to come back and watch them. So I appreciate you joining
yeah,
me. I was just going to get on and tell stories, but this turned out a little bit better. So I'm glad you showed up. It's running on All Things Trapp channel on YouTube, and it is also on my Facebook page. It shows up, and so it broadcasts on those two platforms. And like my show tonight, my show starts at 9 o'clock. The radio program, uh, that one is. Well, I'll put this banner up. It is. Here we go. I have to edit it, and then this is how you can listen, and then you have the phone number of how to dial in to the radio station when I'm on the radio. And I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. I have a list of things that I'm going to talk about, and some of them are stories, and some of them are news and events. But tonight, there's allegedly tomorrow, there's going to be on the telephone a conversation between the old Trumpster and the old Putin guy, and they're going to discuss Ukraine. And if anybody's going to be able to end it, it'll be Trump. But I don't think anything's going to come of that phone call tomorrow. And people keep belittling the Russian position and saying, we need a ceasefire first. And the Russians keep going, no, we don't. We need to keep talking as if we're going to resolve. But if we give you a ceasefire, all you're going to do is regroup, and we got to start all over. We have you guys on the run right now. Why would we allow a 30-day ceasefire? And there's a certain amount of truth to that position. In fact, a lot of truth to that position. The Ukrainians are getting their asses handed to them, and they're losing a decent amount of territory every single day. And if you allow them to regroup and re-entrench and dig new, fortified positions, Russia has to start all over. Where right now they're driving them out. So I don't believe that anything good is going to come of these conversations until the capitulation occurs. Did you hear what Peskov said yesterday in English? He did an interview in English, and he said, somebody asked him about it. He said pretty much what I just said, but then he said, listen, somebody needs to point out the reality of life to Kiev, because if people don't start to listen to our position, the 4 territories will become 8. And Maria Zakharova said the same thing on Friday. And the Russians they're committed. They are committed. And Ukraine isn't going to prevail in this horror story. They're just not. And I'm not sure that anything that NATO can do, all we're offering now is sanctions, and those aren't going to do anything. But it's a shame that so many people are dying. They're saying that well over 1 million just on the Ukrainian side have been lost, and that's a generation when you only got 20 million in the first place. That's a horror story. So at any rate, we'll be on at 9:00 tonight on damradio.com/live. I invite you to participate. And Clayton, thank you for coming, but I'm going to be ending the stream here. So have a good evening.
Okay, see you.
Bye-bye.